All right. Welcome to Kneecap Biting with Smokin Jeremy B. And I do not own the rights to this music.
Here locally in the community. Make sure y'all go check out Kneecap Body by Jeremy Smokin.
All right. We got a little new look here today for a first timer. We've got Keegan Eckerd from my Motor City Kneecap Biters page in here. Richard Head and DC 8091. We're going to talk a little post-game Lions football today. I know Monday Night Football's getting ready to start, and I understand if you guys got to jump out to watch it, but I'd rather you not. That being said, I currently am sitting at 158 subscribers, so please go over to YouTube, subscribe, like, and share this on every Lions page you're on, because I want to get more. That being said, first thing I want to talk about are the hot players of the game. I'm going to get your guys' opinion on hot players, and then I will give mine. Keegan, what do you think?
Hot players, I think I didn't get to the whole game, but watching the highlights and the first two drives, Swift looked hot right away, which was awesome.
All right, DC, who do you got?
Definitely got to go with Swift. I mean, that film doesn't lie. I'd also throw in Rodriguez had a shocker and Akuda had another great one.
Richard Head?
Well, Akuda and Rodriguez, I mean, they killed it on defense.
Okay, and I'm going to go a little bit further. Number one, I want to give the O-line props. That Philly D-line was projected to be one of the best in the NFL, and what they do, they only got one sack. They really didn't tackle the running backs behind the line at all.
Yep. He gave up 200 yards.
And then after that, you got to give it up for Swift and Williams both. Williams finally looked like the power back in the red zone we wanted him to be. And Swift, that was amazing. Defensively, I'm going to give a little shout out to Isaiah Buggs, Comiskey, Austin Bryant, Rodrigo, Anzalone, and Okuda.
Yep.
Did I miss anybody, guys?
Not really. I think you covered most of them.
Yep.
All right.
I'd say Hutch.
Hutch was chasing Hurts out of the pocket. He had 8 to 10 pressures.
Too.
Yeah, 8 to 10 pressures is what I saw.
What he's there for.
Exactly. Had we had somebody in the spy like we had last year on Lamar Jackson, it might have been a different game, but that's another story. Yeah. I got a few comments to get to, and then we'll get the cold players. And when I come back, we're going to start with you, Richard Head. Brian Roy says, hi, guys. Stephen King says, evening all. And Facebook user says, Rodrigo. Yes, Rodrigo. All right, Richard Head, who do you got for the cold players of the game?
Derek Barnes. I don't know where he was, but I didn't really hear his name called at all.
I did,
Alex
but you won't like what I heard it on.
Linebacker role than he did. Ooh.
Okay, DC.
Agree with Barnes. I also throw Harris in there. I don't know what the hell he was doing. Or a couple of those plays in there. And of course, Hawk, he did not have an
Yeah.
uncharacteristically bad game.
Okay. Keegan?
I'd say Hawk, Barnes, especially Will Harris.
Well, I don't want to really throw him into the cold players, but let's say lukewarm. I'm on Ra with uncharacteristic two or three drops. Reynolds had a very key drop. That was a touchdown pass he dropped out of that play action when he was on that deep route, and he had separation and was open. That was nuts. But definitely Hawkinson, running wrong routes, missing blocks. Barnes, he was specifically responsible. He had Miles Sanders wrapped up at the line. It would have stopped it and got us the ball back, and he let him go to get that first down on the last drive. And Will Harris, 100% Will Harris. The receiving core as a whole kind of had a cold game.
Yeah.
According to Dan Miller and Lomas Brown in their post-game show, they said, I doubt all these stats stick, but I counted 16 drops by wide receivers and running backs. 16. That's abysmal.
Yeah. I don't think we had that many last year.
That's god awful.
We didn't have that many after 3 games last year.
Yep. Well, there's a bit of exaggeration, but
well,
drops weren't an issue last year, despite everything else.
We got a couple more comments. Lion King comes in, and he says, I don't think we lose but 2 or 3 games the rest of the season if our defense can improve. We dominate the NFC. I don't see that, but I do see a lot more wins than 5 or 6.
Me too. Looking at the Vikings.
Stephen King, JB, did I just hear
me smoke something and I might.
JB, did I just hear you correctly calling Alex by his actual last name? Yes.
Yeah, he had a hell of a game.
That missed tackle on Sanders hurt for sure. And hi, Jeremy. How's it going? Shark. Well, Shark did have 2 drops too. Yeah, it was Amon-Ra had 3. Shark had 2. Reynolds had that 1. Jamal Williams had a drop. And Facebook user comes
Shark
in and says
nice
9 and 8
towards the end, though.
Yeah, that's how he made up for it. He started out rough. He ran a wrong route. He was supposed to be on the hot route to the sideline, and he cut inside, and that would look like a really bad pass. But if receivers aren't running the right, and Williams had 2, so that's 9 drops right there that count. And we're talking where they hit him in the hands. Hawkinson had 2 that hit him in the hands, and he dropped. So there's 10. So that means 6 of them didn't count. And Eric Sean comes in and said Green Bay looked terrible. I am not calling them out after week 1 because they did the same thing last year. They looked like dog shit versus the Saints and then came out smelling like a rose with the number 1 seed. So you can't count Green Bay out after 1 game, no more than you can count Philly in the playoffs after 1 game or us out after 1 game. Yep. Facebook user says drops and wrong routes killed us. Yes. Goff wasn't great, but he isn't the reason why we lost by a long shot. Absolutely.
Correct.
I mean, Goff is a game manager.
Can't blame Goff with the pressure that he had and throwing the ball
Goff
where he
doesn't
could
give
find
up
the
31
right guy.
points.
Yes.
38 points. Oh, no, 31. You're right. Hey, but you know what's funny? Let's get into that because that's my next subject. But I'm going to say Joseph Host comes in and says, can't believe Giants won on the road and Bears won. You kidding me? Yeah. I was skeptical about saying the 49ers should blow them out because I was worried about Trey Lance, and I was absolutely right.
I'm surprised Ohio State quarterback actually won a game.
The play that changed the game happened in the second quarter. TJ Hawkinson was supposed to run a stick route, which is 5 or 6 yards out, turn around and sit there and wait on the ball as a safety valve. Goff turned to the right. The 1 read was gone. The 2 read was gone. By the time he got his eyes back here, there was someone in his face. So he threw the no-look pass to where Hawk should have been. And that's when James Bradbury, who actually is a good corner, got the first pick six of his career. That is abysmal. I don't know what Hawk read, but all I know is when he was walking off to the sideline, Campbell was reaming his ass, as he should be. Does anybody disagree with that being the play that changed the game?
Not at all.
No, I don't disagree with that. That was just like that was the final straw that broke the camel's back that put him
Right.
too big in a hole.
Right, because that put him down by 2 touchdowns before the half, and it was looking bad.
That being said, though, Philly is, like I said in previous episodes, Jeremy, Philly is a really good team.
They are
going to win the East.
But they did not look anywhere as good as everybody claimed they'd be. They didn't get all the sacks everybody said they were going to get. They didn't get a million turnovers. It was 1 interception. Granted, it went to the house. There was only 1 interception thrown. Somebody said 3 on another podcast yesterday, and they're absolutely wrong.
No, and honestly, if they didn't have a quarterback as athletic as Hurst, they don't win that game.
Absolutely. Hey, this Micro Mike listening. How you doing, Micro Mike?
Howdy, Mike.
Next week will show us a lot with the Vikings and Eagles. They both look very solid teams. And Facebook user says, Green Bay always starts like shit, then AA Ron will go do some shrooms and relax.
Say no to drugs, kids. Say no to drugs.
Brian Roy, that's a gallon or so of blue Kool-Aid, and he's drinking LOL Lion King. I did the... Trey Lance looked mediocre. That's why Chicken Who won. Oh, Lion King, we need stretchers brought out for scrambling through QBs, and maybe they will think again about taking advantage of our slow LBs. We needed somebody in the spy, and the correct person to put in that spy was Rodrigo.
But that's a lot for put him in his first NFL game as a QB spy. But I mean, I understand why they didn't.
What did I think of Tracy's ejection yesterday? Well, in all actuality, by the letter of the rule, he deserved it. Anytime you hit a QB that's sliding above the chest, it's an automatic ejection in the new NFL rules.
Yeah.
But it wasn't flagrant. The reason why he got ejected is because he swung at a player that was protecting the quarterback. If he wouldn't have swung and hit that guy in the helmet, he wouldn't have got ejected. There was 2 unsportsmanlikes back to back, which is an automatic ejection. Plus that rule about hitting the guy above the shoulder, above the chest area for a quarterback while they're in a slide. It's an automatic. So the 2 unsportsmanlikes, I think, is more why he got it, because when they looked at it, it wasn't flagrant. But with 2 unsportsmanlikes, you're ejected.
Yeah.
That's a horseshit rule.
It's dumb. It's a rule that caters to their mobile quarterback.
And Mike says that NFL rule can kiss my ass. For real, for real. I don't blame you, Micro Mike.
Yeah.
That hit by Walker was not flagrant by a mile.
Nope.
And Rodrigo manhandled Kelsey. It was fucking amazing. I ain't gonna lie. His overreaction was uncalled for and hurt us in the long run, although Juju did well. Yes, Juju Hughes actually didn't do bad. He was way better than Will Harris. Just saying.
Yep.
Yeah.
Will Harris lost some snaps this week, that's for sure.
So what do you guys think about my take with that being the play that changed the game? About Hawk.
For worse, yeah. For better, I'd say that first Swift run.
Oh,
when he broke it for 50, I mean, the momentum after that play just went completely on our end. But that would be for the better.
Lion King, kudos to Walker, who got tired of Hurts and Hurts. He didn't hurt him. Well, the Facebook user Harris.
That's the play.
Okay. It is. And I agree. Fire Will Harris. We've been saying it for how long now, Micro Mike? How long have we been saying get rid of Will Harris? He's a bum. He was just only a slightly better bum as a slot corner as he was as a safety.
Well, that's the thing. It's only the first game, so there's a lot
Yep.
of improvement that we can make throughout the whole season.
Yep, going down 2 touchdowns, it changes the entire scheme of the game. Absolutely.
And we handled it well, all things considered.
It's Ryan McBride. Right above where the video is, Ryan, you click that little link for the StreamYard thing, and it allows them to use your name and picture. That's all it's for. They will never post on your account. It's just so you can have your name and picture in there. And he says, playing catch up sucks. 100%.
Yeah.
You know, hey, let's talk about. He earned the right to be called Anzalone after this game there, Eric. I'm going to leave it alone, and it's Anzalone for this one game. He didn't look like Annalise. He didn't look like Fabio Zalone. It was Anzalone.
Yeah, hell of a game.
No, the worst linebacker on that field was Derek Barnes yesterday. In my mind, he was just awful.
The only time I heard his name called out, it was bad. And Facebook user says Thor. Yeah, he hit like Thor yesterday. And granted, yes, it was a late hit on Hurts when he threw that ball. That was necessary.
That was a bullshit call.
But it was a late hit by the letter of the rule. The bad part is they didn't call the 2 by Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis after that when they hit Goff.
Exactly.
So that's what made it bullshit. If you're going to call it for the one team, call it for the other.
Even that letter of the rule, they had to be stretching it a bit for that. That rule's supposed to be.
Yeah, because he was literally in the air. He was in the air diving at Hurts when he threw the ball.
Exactly. It was already. That goes back to the old in the grasp rule. I mean,
and
basically,
if you remember, he wasn't running as much after that in that third quarter when we got that unsportsmanlike for Anzalone.
Yep, should have done that in the first, but oh well.
Eric Sean, he still has the hair. Dime store love story model by night and Lions linebacker by day. That's a great comment.
Love it.
Jealous of that hair.
Lion King, the interception was not the reason. I listened to Miller and Brown while watching the game. When we wham blocked the first time and shotgun the next. Yeah, I know we did that. But that interception is what put them up by 2 touchdowns, which changed the way we called the rest of the game. That's why after we scored in the third quarter, after we stopped them on their first drive, we went for an onside kick. It's because we were down 2 scores.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But going for the onside kick is not what hurt us. It was the horrible execution by Siebert on it, because it only went up like a softball pitch, which made it go directly to a guy. Whereas what's supposed to happen when you kick that one where it bounces off and goes up in the air, it's supposed to be more like a blooper ball pitch where you barely see it on the screen. It never left the camera screen. So I just
10 yards and straight in the air, and then
right.
And you're already seeing the overreaction by a lot of the Lions Detroit media calling it a bad call. Well, if they get the onside kick, he's a genius.
Right.
You know?
It's going for the tie. That's what it was at the time. I don't care what you say. That's one thing I love is that he's willing to take those chances and go for it. But how many times on the other side of the 50 did the Eagles say, screw it, we're going to do an RPO and run Hurts and get the first down instead of punting? Every single damn time.
Because they knew the linebackers outside of Rodrigo could not contain.
Right, but we never put anybody in the spy. So all of those linebackers were covering somebody and not watching the line. So when he did break containment,
no one was
it was bad.
Yep. I mean, so he didn't get 100 yards on us.
Just about.
Yeah.
And Ryan McBride,
Swift did a hell of a lot more running against them than he did against us.
That's it. Right there. If you're going to do that, you need to play it like a flop shot in golf. High and slow so it lands soft. Yep. Absolutely.
You need your coverage team to get down and underneath it.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Roy says, I didn't see or watch much of the game, so I don't really have an opinion and be able to talk about the game, so I'm learning from you guys. And Ryan McBride says, exactly. Recover the inside and everyone will praise him, and we probably would have won. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
We
If the
still have a
Lions
chance to win.
executed the onside, the media would have heralded the call. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It wasn't a good time for that onside kick. We were only down by 10 with 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
Okay, and Philly's
Well,
not expecting you to do that either, so it's
Yeah, their
completely
hands
catching them
team
off
wasn't
guard.
out there. It was, yep.
If it wouldn't have went directly to the guy and would have been the high flop shot, guess what? It'd have
Yeah,
been
Our
great.
ball.
It'd have been our
Nobody,
ball. Because the
nobody
way
was
that
prepared for an onside. Sorry to
no,
interrupt.
they weren't lined up for it. They were lined up for a normal kickoff. Both sides. Nobody did the hands team. There was maybe a couple of wide receivers that were playing special teams, which that's another beef I got. Why the hell wasn't Cephas on the field when all the drops started to happen?
I'm guessing he's not completely
Yeah,
past
it's not.
the overall bill of
Oh no,
rehab yet.
no, he was playing special teams as gunner.
No, but I mean in terms of
No.
in terms of
If
their
he's on the
structure.
field playing gunner, tackling and all that, guess what? He's perfectly fine. He should have
Yeah.
been swapped in for Raymond for the wide receiver 4 instead of putting Hawkinson out there.
I'm thinking it was probably like, well, you seen how many times the receivers ran the wrong routes. It's like, did he even have the routes down? You know, was he even somewhat knowledgeable of the playbook?
Absolutely, McBride. Patterson was good as throws. And I even mentioned that on it. So when somebody griped about it, I said, look at the preseason when we did it to the Steelers. Who's the one that did it right? Patterson. Who's the one that did it right in the Colts game? Patterson. Siebert is not a good onside kicker. And Chris Schilling, Riley Patterson had that side kick down last year. If we would have kept him, that onside kick would have turned out differently than it did. The onside kick was poorly executed. Yes, sir. We recovered more onsides than anyone last year. Absolutely. I think we went for it 8 times and recovered 6 or 7 of them, right?
Yeah. Around there.
Yep, sooner or later.
And Eric, Sean, we went away from the run game for a bit, and that destroyed our time of possession. We tried to force the passing game too early. Yes.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah,
I've said that
back-to-back
too. But
3-and-outs, right.
that interception was the key that changed the game.
Yep.
And Facebook user, why do they have him at gunning? Speed isn't his game, Cephas. Absolutely.
Well, he can fly.
Tried more 2, went for 9, got 3. Okay. I thought it was 8, and I thought we recovered more of them than that. I know we recovered 2 of them back to back in the San Francisco game.
Yeah.
So you're saying, but didn't we recover like 3 more throughout the season? Because I thought we did it a couple other times and get it.
I heard that too, but
I know it was 2 that we recovered and 1 we didn't in the 49ers game, and the last one is what made it so they could run out the clock because we were out of timeouts.
And I mean, regardless, you're playing from behind. You got to do something. Like, you just sit there and hope your defense that's given up almost 31 at this point can stop them. You got to do something.
And he says that's what they said on the broadcast yesterday. Okay, so that must be right. Our offensive line looks good. We should be able to run on Washington D. Yeah, especially since Chase Young's not playing. And Perdarius Mathis, their rookie D tackle, they just used a pick on. He's out for the season with a torn meniscus and has to have surgery to repair it.
Oof. That's
My
rough.
question
So they're
is,
down 2 starters right off the bat.
yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the
there
other
is
thing.
a-
Their defensive line doesn't nearly have any run stoppers out, even with those guys as good as Fletcher Cox or Jordan Davis. I mean,
And Fletcher Cox and Jordan Davis really wasn't stopping the run.
they weren't. That's the thing. Our run game is going to be legit this year.
Yep.
I mean, what was it? 10 carries, 144 yards? No, 11 carries, 144 yards for a 9.6 average for Swift with 1 touchdown running and 1 receiving, correct?
Yep. I wonder how many Phillies fans are going ape shit about that, like we would be. If we got gassed by that by a running back, it would be this whole damn show.
Oh yeah.
I wonder how Philly is going nuts about it.
If we could have scored second possession, the Eagles would have been on their heels like Jenna Jameson. That's great. Ryan McBride said Cox looked slow. He did, but he was effective because he was slow. and Facebook user, but we still look damn good. What I'm saying is, as I saw way more positives than negatives overall. I mean, the fact that we got it within 3 points of the guys that are supposed to be the Super Bowl contenders out of the East, that's huge.
Yeah.
That's exactly, and that's what I was saying before. Even if they lost, but they had numerous times to win that game. It literally came down to the last play. Philly had to get that first.
Right. I
You
if
made
you
them
look,
gamble late in the game to win it against
when
you.
they whistled the ball down and they had not marked first down, because they had to measure it by what it was, by the letter of the rule, they should have stopped the clock at the 57 seconds when they blew the whistle. But they didn't. They let it keep running. Because you're supposed to stop the clock and do it.
How many
But again,
games did
though,
we?
if Derek Bonds makes that tackle, we don't know what happens.
I'm not sleeping on them. I'm just saying they're down. They're down 2 guys.
Yeah, they're a good squad. I mean, they got a good coach.
Okuda looks solid, and he's only going to get better. Absolutely. He just needs more reps.
Yep.
Our D-line should hopefully be able to feast on Washington next weekend. And that's what everybody's forgetting.
Yeah.
Philly has the number 1 ranked O-line in the league.
Had.
Yeah.
They don't anymore.
Therefore, they only gave up 1 sack, but there was a total of 16 pressures on Hurts.
Yep. We won
If Hurts wasn't as mobile as he was, he would have got sacked probably 2 more times at least.
At least. I'm thinking more like 5 or 6. If you're telling me if we're getting that pressure on Carson Wentz, are you scared of him running away from him?
Absolutely not.
That's the thing. Carson
you
Wentz
got
can't
Hurts,
run.
you got Hurts the jackrabbit, and then you got Wentz the snail.
Oh,
Yeah,
No disrespect to Wentz, but he's no Jalen Hurst
Yeah.
by no means.
Wentz cannot run.
You better pass.
Hutch Bryant should get some sacks against the Washington bad O-line. Absolutely.
Mhm.
And Ryan McBride finally comes in and goes, I figured it out. He goes, Wentz is in for a long day next Saturday. He is mobile, but not nearly as mobile. He should have been called for attention. Yes, there was one in particular where they said he was outside the tackle box. Bullshit. He was by the guard, and it didn't even cross the line. And the receiver that he was supposedly throwing it to was 10 yards down the field. It was in the line of where he threw it, but it wasn't in the area of where he threw it. That should have been intentional grounding.
Yeah, and wasn't there like 2 of them back to back or 2 of them very close?
Yeah, the one he was running towards the sidelines. Once you get outside that tackle box, that doesn't count. And period.
That's a shitty fucking rule.
And he goes, some Lions fans were saying Hutch was a no-show. I was like, what the fuck? Why do you think Hurts was running for his life? He is an elite scrambler. Yes.
Exactly.
The rundown that he almost had.
Literally.
I thought that too. Damn refs.
If they would have had anybody, call it an outside linebacker, defensive end, whoever, just sit and contain just sit on the opposite side where Hutchinson was. Yeah. You'd have stopped him. He wouldn't have got anywhere.
The other thing I didn't agree with is we started Hutch at D end. The whole preseason and all the offseason workouts I watched on Hard Knocks and when I was in person, he played outside linebacker at the 7 or 9 technique. You moved him to D end, so he's up against one of the best O-lines in the league. It's going to slow him down.
Mm-hmm.
You couldn't tell, though.
I know.
I mean, if that's slowed down, I mean, that's he might get 2, maybe 3 sacks against Washington.
And I'm going to, before anybody says it in here, if I read one comment that says we should go sign Kaepernick because he'll be better than Goff, you're booted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hasn't played in 6 years. He's had horrible tryouts for 4 teams over the past 2 years.
And
when I say horrible, Warren Sapp said when he went to watch him try out for Oakland, he laughed more than he clapped, and he only clapped once out of 25 passes.
I heard when he went to go do passes with Michigan, they laughed him off the field.
Yeah. He goes, I like the Harris Hutch NASCAR set. Yes, when they're at the outside linebacker and they're just coming around the tight ends and no one can stop them, that's where they
Yep.
should have been. It'd have been a different game if he wasn't being held up by tackles and guards. Hopefully we didn't have, no, we did not have any injuries this week. That being said, it was a 3-point loss, but they lost their starting outside linebacker, Derek Barnett, for the season.
Mm-hmm.
There was a reason Cap was sitting. He's been allowed to come back to the league for 3 years now.
He's tried out for teams. Teams don't want him.
He did
Yeah.
an open tryout where 8 teams that needed a quarterback. And guess what? One of them was Detroit at the time because it was before we traded away Stafford. And we went and watched him and we didn't sign him. That should tell you everything you need to know.
You're a damn fool if you want.
Capper crap is done. Queen Elizabeth would be a better option.
Oof.
Too soon.
Jeez.
Not too soon. Yep.
And that is huge. We always are injured in games like that. A pleasant change. Absolutely. All of our injuries came from preseason and practice.
Against a team we were supposed to lose to. I predicted we were going to lose the Eagles. You did too, Jeremy. This is a team we were supposed to lose to, and we had multiple chances to win this game.
Yes, there's another starred comment for it. He sucks.
Yep.
And Ryan McBride said, screw Cap, quit wasting your breath. LOL. That being said, we pretty much covered everything. Anybody got any last thoughts they want to add real quick before I add mine?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Richard.
I'm going to say this right now. I expect that the Lions win against Washington this coming up week. I'm not saying I think they are. I expect them to.
Yeah.
After that performance against the Eagles, if they do not win, it is a disappointment. Not just by a field goal either. They need to go out and show like, hey, look, we're beating up on these guys now. We're pissed.
I think you will see it.
And you know what the funny thing is? We're tied as the second most highest scoring offense of the season so far.
Yeah, we didn't even get rolling. Yeah.
Yeah, the 12th man is behind him. They are making his life a living hell right now. I'm watching it on the TV. It's bad. We have to give Barnes more playing time this year. No, we don't. When he's been on the field, it's bad. If he wants more playing time, he has to earn it in practice. Period.
Rather than practice, I'd rather have him on the practice squad.
Yeah, bring Davis back up. I'd rather have a misguided missile that hits a QB every now and then than somebody that can't do anything.
Yeah.
All these supposed fans that keep bringing up Capper Cap do not remember he was benched 3 weeks before he took a knee. Absolutely. Imagine a full game of good play. It would be great. That's right, Jeremy. God bless, brother. One pride. Were the referees any good this game, or did they pick on a Smoke? And how many penalties did we get? We only had like 7 penalties the whole game, so we weren't that penalized. There was 5 legit penalties for 35 yards, and at the time, it was tied with the Eagles at 5 for 30.
There were a couple non-calls and a couple. They didn't do us any favors.
They didn't do us any favors, but I don't think the
They
refs
didn't
truly
feel more
hurt
favors
us.
than they did us.
Right. I'm saying the penalties that they called were legit penalties. May they've been ticky-tacky, may they've been borderline, yes, but they all were legit penalties.
Mm-hmm.
Barnes couldn't hit a barn or a bum.
Yeah.
He let
And
Miles
why
sit
do they keep
run him over.
playing? Why do they keep playing Harris? I don't know yet.
Because they like him in the safety spot.
Yeah, man.
Yes, we took Barnes in the 4th round right after we picked Amon-Ra St. Brown in that trade with Cleveland to swap picks. It sucked. I wanted it to be good. I love Derek Barnes. I love the story of Derek Barnes, but he's not a middle linebacker. He was an outside linebacker for his first couple of years. That was his first year at middle linebacker at Purdue. He's naturally an outside linebacker. and he's good at rushing the passer. I say we should probably put him back in it.
Yeah.
I put him back where he's naturally good at. Look at what they did with Logan Stenberg this preseason. They moved him back to his left. Back to his left guard position, and that got his confidence back. He actually played better. And then he played right guard, and he was okay. Yeah, he had the jitters, and he had a couple false starts. Big whoop. It happens. No, put him back at OLB. Yeah, yep, he agreed.
Yeah.
LOL. He goes, I can't type as fast as you talk. I'm slow. Eagles had more penalties in the beginning. Our two illegal motions, blanking now on the O-line. Stenberg, not Sternberg. And it was one was a false start. It was a false start. It wasn't an illegal motion.
Yeah, I think both were
Yeah.
jumps, weren't they?
Yeah, they were both jumps. And Panay Sewell talked about it in the presser. DC brought it up
Yep.
that he was laughing at him because it was first game jitters.
Yeah, he basically Sewell said, don't worry, fuck it. Let's go. That's a great interview if you could see it, but yeah.
I'm going to say could be. I think he'll be at least an average guard because this is his first time starting.
When it comes to run blocking, he's damn near above.
Yeah, it was. That was the
Pass
first
blocking.
plays of the offense, remember? Because right after the two false starts, Swift ran for 50 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't that big a deal. It didn't hurt us.
Against Jordan Davis and Fletcher Cox in the middle.
Yeah, because Swift started in the middle, ran up inside, and then cut back outside when the safeties ducked in, which is exactly what Deuce Staley was telling him to do, remember? Cut inside, then go out.
Yep.
How long is Vitae out?
A minimum, he might be out for the season. It's a back injury. It's a minimum of 4 to 6 weeks.
Okay, if
Or at least by the release that he's on.
then
Well, you can like him better than Big V, but guess what? Big V only had 4 penalties last year and 0 sacks against.
Yep.
He actually played as a top 10 guard last year.
Easily.
Big V also gets paid like a top 10 guard too.
And
Yeah.
deservingly so, but no, but if we don't lose much of a step with Stenberg in, that's going to be a huge, huge plus.
Well,
yeah.
we didn't lose much of a step once Kramer was in for everybody last year.
And that's the thing. The Eagles are the best team we're going to play talent-wise.
Until week 7?
Yeah.
Because Patriots don't look any good.
Cowboys just lost Prescott for a while.
They
So, I
still
mean-
got that scary defense, though. Tom Brady
Yeah.
was running for his life and got sacked a few times.
Either way, I mean, it's this loss wasn't demoralizing or anything. It wasn't upsetting.
Patricia is calling plays.
Yes.
I've been waiting to see one of them bums pop in here because there's that fake account that comes in and switches through all the guys. But I want to see Tim Boyle said he'd have done better because I just said quit lying. I mean, granted, Goff got an 80.1.
Yeah.
Stafford was the next highest losing quarterback at 63.2. Then it was Rodgers at 50.2 and Burrow at 48.9. By the time Belichick, I feel bad not knowing how to spell that, will give him the hook by then. Maybe. And Eric Sean, Patriots look terrible. Dallas looked as bad as I expected. Prescott makes Romo look like Breeze. Well, believe it or not, Romo, Luck, and Stafford statistically are the same quarterback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Chris Schilling says Hank Fraley is a top offensive line coach. Do you? Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
Absolutely.
He made Logan Stenberg stop looking quite so upright in passing. He's still a little too upright, but he's better. Oh, it's 7-3 Seahawks over Broncos right now, boys,
Yeah, and they're driving
and they're driving.
inside the 10. Nice play.
Gino.
And Prescott is a steaming pile of crap.
Yep. I'm
not saying he was a Stafford. And I didn't say anything bad about Stafford. I said Romo, Stafford, and Luck statistically were the same quarterback. They just play for better teams.
I mean,
and there's Crazy Ken, my dad, finally popping in. How you doing, Dad?
I can't look at that game yesterday and say Stafford would have won him that game either.
No. Is there any CB other than Harris? Yes. There. Oh, you mean that played badly? No, not really. They all did pretty decent other than Harris.
Awari, Okuda, both had good games.
Warrior, he's still a little rusty compared to last year, but he looked good.
Yeah.
And Eric Sean says to my dad, "Hey, Dad, how you doing, sir?"
Yeah, the secondary, with the exception of Harris, looked pretty damn good yesterday.
Yeah.
Amani had a rough game. Yeah, that's what I was saying. He had one good breakup. I think it was on the pass to Devonta Smith, right? Or was that Okuda?
Yep.
No, it was AO. No,
Yeah.
I know Okuda broke one up to AJ Brown early.
Yeah, could have had a couple breaks up, I think.
I thought they had Okuda on Smith.
Yeah, it was mainly on
a tackle dummy can replace Harris at this point. It wouldn't do much worse. It'd still be burnt toast and blind. Okuda had it against Smith. Okay.
I'd rather see Hughes replace Harris.
If he is dealing with a hammy right now, and he'll be back. And Crazy Ken says, "Doing good, Eric. Thanks for asking." And he goes, "They were playing sides." Yeah, they were switching sides all game. But Okuda, it got scary there in the third quarter when he went out, and that's when that big play happened because Will Harris was covering A.J. Brown on the big play.
Yep.
And Harris actually did, I said it, he had great coverage on that play. It was just placed perfectly. Yeah, but what I'm saying is if he was that close with perfect coverage, he should have got his hand in there and knocked the ball out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's something that Okuda or Big AO would have done. They'd have knocked that ball out of his hands with that good of coverage because he was draped on his back like a cheap suit and looking back at the ball the whole time. And Ryan McBride says, "Oh, for sure." That being said, I pretty much have covered everything. Keegan, what is your one thing you wanted to bring up?
Oh, I was going to bring up back to when we were just talking. If Hawkinson doesn't end up playing that much well, what do you think we would get for him at week 8 for a trade?
Oh, I'm thinking we'd get at least a second or third, maybe even 2 picks, but a second and third is a start. I don't think we'd get a first-round pick for him unless somebody overvalues him.
Well, we better get a tight end unless Mitchell's ready.
Well,
we trade TJ, but that's a good chunk of our offense that's out the window.
Yeah.
He's not that good, though.
No, but there's enough of schemes. And
we got Brock Wright. We still got Derek Deese on the practice squad, but he'd be more like a TE3 in the goal line situation. James Mitchell, they didn't really play him at all.
Yeah, but
he's healthy.
Who's going to command the respect from the defenses that Hawkinson does right now?
We really don't need him to command respect. We don't need a tight end to command respect right now. We need him to do what he's supposed to do: catch the ball and block, which he's not doing well at either of them.
Oh, if he doesn't, at least he could do is command some respect to open something up. I mean, that's the least he can damn do.
If I had to look, who do you think would be the top tight end in next year's free agent class?
And Okuda showed what I thought. His upside is a no-fear tackler. Absolutely. Yep. Ryan McBride says, "Have a good night, guys." And Ryan McBride says, "Let Hawk walk. I wouldn't sign him long-term. I'd be okay for trading him if someone wanted to." Bob Quinn is at Cleveland and Petrasha at Patriots. Those are our Huckleberries. Hawk can't block either. Right on, Jeremy. Absolutely. He wants to be paid like top 5, but he's not even top 10.
No.
I would say he's in the top 20. The way he played, it was abysmal. The only thing he did right was on that tight end screen, and he finally ran over somebody instead of trying to hurdle them or go around them. He lowered his shoulder, knocked the guy back, and got the first down. That's the only thing I saw him do right.
Hopefully, he'll get an earful all week in practice. I wouldn't be
Yeah.
shocked if he had a big game against the Redskins.
Well, they did, Chris Schilling, they did use him on the double outside set, and he was supposed to run out and do a curl route or a stick route at 6 yards. He decided, Ryan McBride, not what he was billed to be, but still better than Ebron by a long shot. I'm saying if you're going to re-sign him, I wouldn't re-sign him for more than $8 million. But if I could get a second and a fifth, or a third and a sixth, I'm done. Oh, it looks like Geno Smith just showed his head again.
Ebron was trash.
Geno just threw a pick.
Yep.
Ebron couldn't catch a ball for his life.
He couldn't block either.
Couldn't catch
Actually, when Ebron caught the first pass that went his way, he did well. When he didn't, bam.
He
Yeah.
could never block. He was like soft.
LOL, poor Geno. The crazy thing is, the guy ran it from 2 yards deep and ended up out on the 20. And there's Russell Wilson completing a pass to the tight end to get a first down. So that's the type of stuff you're going to get to look forward to, because I think I'm going to be doing my commentary this weekend for the Washington game. I wanted to go, but I really can't afford it unless I get this discounted ticket I'm looking at. Because this weekend took a lot out of me, boys.
You just
It
hung
took
out
a lot
at
out.
the market, didn't you? Or did you go into the game? Oh, okay.
Hawkinson is another Quintrasha pick, not as advertised. I like the kid, but not going all in.
For the right price, I'm keeping him.
Get one for me too, he says. Yeah, for the right price. If it's $8 million or less, I'm all in. If it's in that Dawson, Knox, Kelsey, or Kittle money, you can keep them.
Yeah.
That'd be ridiculous to sign him to a contract like that. He's not. No.
That being said, I think we're going to stay on and chat after. I want to get a shout out to the sponsors real quick. You got anything to add there again, Richard? Or you already gave yours, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And I'll give mine after I do my shout out to the sponsors. 81 Tire and Auto Repair, 3 locations to serve you. One in Old Coquitlam Road in Coquitlam, one on Genesee Street in Saginaw, and the one where I work on Broadway in Bay City. Great used tires at a good price and great prices on new tires too. Come on in and check us out. And Mad Lab Custom Creations. That's Dan Leonard's group on Facebook. Look them up. They do breaks to win signed memorabilia. He also will do custom paint jobs on your already signed memorabilia, like mini helmets and full-size helmets. He does some really cool stuff. If I had some with me, I'd show you. My take is, I wanted to give my extra take, and then I'll let you say something, Richard.
All right, sorry about that.
My take is, the way they played yesterday, if that offense keeps going like that, they're going to win a lot more games than they lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just what I'm saying. And we got a few comments. Go ahead, Richard.
I was gonna say, I was hoping Leonard was gonna be on today. I figured he would be after his Giants upset the Titans like that.
He was going to be on, but he had something come up. Plus, I found out that he has COVID for the 3rd time.
Oof.
So he's not feeling well. Ryan McBride agrees. Disley money is okay. I don't think he wants out of Detroit. He's just playing badly the same way he's done his entire career. He doesn't block good, and he isn't always the best receiving. I join in too if you want. I will send you the link shortly, Eric. I just told about that. Dan has COVID for the 3rd time, plus he had some stuff he was dealing with. And Ryan McBride says, I agree. And the Landry loss for the Titans was huge. Yes, it was. That being said, everybody have a good night, and I will bring you in shortly. Have a great evening. Thank you for watching Kneecap Biting with Smokin B. This has been with Keegan Eckert, Richard Head, and DC 8091. I am Smokin Jeremy B. And just remember, try every day to have a better day than you had the day before, and you can make the world a better place. Good evening and good night.